earth. It was April 11th in the year 1931 that the witty and caustic Dorothy Parker resigned her job as drama critic for The New Yorker. Dorothy Parker continued to write book reviews until the year 1933, which were published in 1971 as A Month of Saturdays. The funny, sophisticated Parker symbolized the roaring 20s in New York for many readers. Parker was born in New Jersey and lost her mother as an infant. Shortly after she finished high school, her father also continued his eternity, and she struck out on her own for New York. This is where she took a job writing captions for fashion photos for Vogue for $10 a week. She supplemented her income by playing piano at nights at a dancing school. In 1917, she was transferred to the stylish Vanity Fair, where she became close friends with Robert Benchley, the managing editor, and Robert Sherwood, the drama critic. These three became the core of the famous Algonquin Roundtable, an ad hoc group of newspaper and magazine writers, playwrights, and performers who lunched regularly at the Algonquin Hotel. Parker, known as the quickest tongue among them, became the frequent subject of gossip columns as a prototypical young New Yorker enjoying the freedom of the 1920s. Parker lost her job at Vanity Fair in 1919 because her reviews were too harsh. She began writing reviews for The New Yorker, as well as publishing her own work. Her 1926 poetry collection, Enough Rope, became a bestseller, and her short story collection, Big Blonde, won the prestigious O. Henry Award. Despite her carefree reputation, Parker was cynical and depressed and tried to kill herself twice. In 1933, Dorothy Parker married actor Alan Campbell, moved to Hollywood, and became a screenwriter. Parker collaborated on more than 20 screenplays, including A Star is Born in 1937, my favorite one, and its remake in 1954. She and Campbell divorced in 1947, but remarried in 1950. The outspoken Parker embraced radical politics, taking a stand against fascism and supporting communism. Although she never joined the Communist Party, she and Campbell were blacklisted from Hollywood during the McCarthy era. House Un-American... excuse me, let me say that. Although she never joined the Communist Party, Dorothy Parker and Alan Campbell were blacklisted from Hollywood during the McCarthy era House Un-American Activities Committee hearings and never worked in film again. Parker continued her eternity in 1967. It was April 11th in the year 1988 at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles that the actress and singer Cher collects the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Moonstruck. Sherilyn Sarkisian, who was born on May 20th, 1946, first became famous as the taller female half of the 1960s singing duo Sonny and Cher, alongside her future husband, Sonny Bono. The two scored their first hit, I Got You Babe, in 1965. I got you, babe. Da, 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 da. I got you, babe. Their television Sirius, the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, ran from 1971 to 1974, when the couple split up after having one child, Chastity. By that time, Cher had launched a solo music career, scoring hit singles like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves in 1971, Half Breed in 1973, and Dark Lady in 1974. Her short-lived solo TV effort fared worse, as did her second marriage to the musician Greg Allman. By the end of the 1970s, Cher was a single mother with a stalled career. She had a son, Elijah Blue, with Allman. She began studying at Lee Strasberg's famed actor studio in New York City, and soon landed a part in Robert Altman's Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean in 1982. The following year, in her incarnation as a serious actress, Cher won a Golden Globe and was nominated for an Oscar for her supporting role in Silkwood, starring Meryl Streep. She turned in another critically acclaimed performance as the mother of a boy with several facial deformities in Mask in 1985. Though she didn't get an Academy Award nomination for that role, Cher caused a stir at the Oscars when she arrived wearing a show-stopping black dress, complete with an exposed midriff and enormous feathered headdress. Bob Mackie, whose collaboration with Cher began on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, designed the outfit. In 1987, Cher had no fewer than 3 high-profile movies at the box office: The Witches of Eastwick, co-starring Jack Nicholson, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer; Suspect, co-starring Dennis Quaid; and Moonstruck, directed by Norman Jewison. The last film featured Cher as a widow who falls in love with her fiancé's brother, played by Nicolas Cage. At the 60th Annual Academy Awards ceremony, Moonstruck won in 3 categories, including Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Olympia Dukakis, and Best Original Screenplay. To pick up her golden statuette, Cher did not disappoint, wearing a black mesh Bob Mackie. At the time of her Oscar win, Cher's music career was also flourishing. Her 1986 self-titled album contained hit singles written with Michael Bolton, Bon Jovi, and she released another million-selling album, Heart of Stone, in 1988. Though her acting career largely stalled after her next movie, Mermaids, in 1990, she roared back onto the pop charts yet again in the late 1990s with the irresistible hit single, one of my favorite songs, Leave, and remains an indomitable icon of the pop culture and entertainment. Do you believe in life after love? On April 11th in the year 2015, for the first time in over 50 years, the presidents of the U.S. and Cuba both meet. Barack Obama, our nation's 44th president, and Raul Castro, the president of Cuba and brother of Fidel Castro, with whom our nation broke off diplomatic contact in 1961, shook hands and expressed a willingness to put one of the world's highest profile diplomatic feuds in the past. Our nation's 34th president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, had cut diplomatic ties with Cuba after the Castro-led revolution overthrew a U.S.-backed dictator and installed a regime that was friendly with the Soviet Union. For the next 5 decades, our nation sought to isolate Cuba economically and politically. Though it failed to get other nations to join its embargo, it did manage to severely hamstring Cuba's economic development. Fidel Castro stepped down as president in 2008. That same year, Barack Obama was elected. Early in his administration, Obama signed laws and executive orders that eased the U.S. embargo of Cuba and made it easier for Americans to travel to the island nation. Taking over for his brother, Raul Castro expressed a willingness to reciprocate, and the two shook hands at a memorial service for Nelson Mandela in 2013. That year, officials from the two nations discussed normalizing relations at secret talks facilitated by Pope Francis I in Canada and at the Vatican. The following April, Castro and Obama met, shook hands, and posed together for photographs in Panama City, Panama. Both leaders stressed their desire to work together, but warned that their meeting was only the beginning of what would have to be a long dialogue. A short time later, the Obama administration removed Cuba from its list of state sponsors of terror, and the diplomatic relationship was officially reestablished in July. The Cuban thaw, along with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action between Iran, the U.S., and its allies, was one of the major foreign policy accomplishments of the Obama administration, and as such, its reversal was a priority for his successor, Donald Trump, our nation's 45th president, who tightened travel restrictions between the two countries. The Trump administration did not manage to end commercial travel between the two countries, however, nor did it close the U.S. Embassy in Cuba or ask Cuba to vacate its embassy in Washington, D.C. The historic information divulged on this audio file can be verified on history.com.